With some history flashbacks from the episode Babies in 2021, we see our first proper glimpse of Wren, one of the originals for winning and being crowned as a Splatfest champion. Wren was a very normal guy just like everyone within SMG4's crew. He gave Meggy his beanie, which made her very motivated and eager to become her own Splatfest champion, in which she grew up to eventually achieve. Someone doesn't just give one of their prized possessions to a little kid and not wait for them to see him grow up. Of course, within Western Spaghetti, we get another flashback at the demise of his Splatfest winnings and the start of his downfall, in which he couldn't be able to recover from. It's a bit exaggerated of how Wren was homeless and pictured, but within the flashbacks, it kind of explains that his life was rocky. He couldn't sustain himself anymore from when he had possible earnings and such from when he was on top of the world. So this concludes that Wren didn't turn evil at this point in time. He was sort of more or less broken, though I'm sure if a fan walked past and said something, he would have smiled in that moment. However, at one point it wasn't a fan, it was the one and only Puzzle Vision. Why do I say this? Well, although we didn't get any possible sign of it then, we do know that Puzzle Vision has a TV head. The TV links to a letter that has its own TV icon, and within the simulation, the TV icon appeared again, mimicking the same sort of effect that Puzzle Vision did at the end of WotV 2023. Now this isn't about Puzzle Vision, this is about Wren. He entered this simulation which gave him the power, the ability to be on top again, but this time not have his downfall and always having the best accuracy possible thanks to the simulation's effect. But notice within the simulation of however long he had been in here, his appearance changed. Well, yeah. Over in the wiki, we get clear images of what he looks like, and well, are those corruption lines? The exact same as the ones we got in SMG4 and it's gonna be perfect? Obviously not the same visible lines we see, for example the colouring and the depth, but you can really tell how his simulation was simply destroying Wren the more he used his power, and the more he tried to better himself. We see at the ending result when Meggy and Tyra escape after switching simulations, the code and all that stuff that Wren no longer controls starts to lose. His brain, his body that was controlling the simulation can no longer handle it as the code changed. It's breaking him apart, and the anger that's inside of him reached an all-time peak, which resulted in Wren trying to pull apart the simulation and bring it to the real world, which resulted in overload on every single part of the machine that it could possibly handle, and in the end it resulted in the whole entire facility crumbling on top of him. Now that the conclusion that I said when I got carried away is finished, let's analyze what happened with Wren. His whole entire body was white for the first half. After the simulation had accepted SMG4's cast, there's a whole new chunk of data for Wren to break down control. However the machine worked, it was draining the power from Wren to use and support the machine, similar to what happened in the anime arc. Meggy was being drained of her power and she started cracking up and, losing herself. This is kind of the same situation. Now if we take a few steps back heading to It's Gotta Be Perfect, SMG4 showed little to no emotion at all. The emotion he did manage to express was anger and just shouting overall, and his emotional messages in private for them to notice before running and locking himself up in the highest part of the castle to protect his friends. Wren couldn't go anywhere, and due to Wren's isolation for so long, he didn't know how much it hurt to shoot with supposed real guns in a simulation. Now obviously, you have to point out the red signals here. Why the hell was Wren shooting Meggy with a real gun so much then, giving trauma and so much more? Why do I think that he is not evil for that? Well, my answer is, he thinks it's a game. After all, Meggy isn't dying. No one is getting hurt physically as the simulation resets after the target's destroyed. Similar to something like Prop Hunt, for example, it ends, it resets. He hadn't had the feeling of being shot himself, and so he thought it would be as simple as a Splatfest game. Now I know it sounds bullshit, but if you see the state Wren was in, having losing his rank, becoming homeless and possibly antisocial due to just the outright state that he was living in, and being inside some massive ink pod to drain his energy for a simulation, you will start to go insane, especially when you are winning over and over again, not thinking straight. And after they all escape, well, he says one line, and that line is, "At least you made one hell of a rival," showing that he the entire time thought it was just simply a game to the both of them, especially knowing how it can be reset so all the blood is never lost and you never die. Anyways, there you have it. That is why I think Wren was not evil. If you enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe. That's it. I don't know how to make outros anymore because it's been ages, so goodbye.